Good morning, everyone. Treasure Troller here from the militant state of Michigan. It's been a couple of weeks or so since I vlogged last, but I kind of wait for something a little interesting, something I can be a bit thought-provoking, maybe hyperbolic, throw a couple of full stops in there before we really vlog. I mean, we're just part-time vlogger. You know, this isn't our job, so we can afford to. But it's kind of stopped too. I've been working every night. I'm working a little over 80 hours a week. Someone has to support all these illegals coming over. So with one extra hour a day, I can support a family of 4 for a month. So I want to kind of talk about, well, I guess it's evil. It's evil people, but it's also the kind of the hypocrisy of how MAGA people feel about some of these social justice warriors, and how now MAGA is kind of doing the same. And I think some of it is okay, but there's a line that they can't cross. So the first thing that comes up is this Crumbly case. I think his name is Ethan Crumbly. He is the Ute that went in and shot up the Oxford High School, killing 4 people. I'm not sure how many were wounded. But he was tried as an adult. I believe he just pled guilty, but he's serving a lifetime, and he's serving a life sentence for his evil actions. I mean, the guy is evil. There's no getting around that. There's no disputing that. However, although he's an adult and he was tried as an adult, his parents are on trial for negligent homicide and facing 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. And the case of his mother just wrapped up on Friday. Now, there's really no statute that covers this type of being held responsible for an adult's decisions or poor decisions or evil decisions. There's no statute that holds a parent accountable, but they're doing that here. And so when you take another position of, you know, and I don't want to get into some of the details about the case as far as what evidence they presented, something like maybe that's for later, but I don't want to do that. But for instance, what we have is, how about if your Ute is arrested for a drive-by shooting? He's someone that doesn't attend school, has been kicked out of school, has been in trouble for all sorts of criminal activity, and he's arrested in the car that had just done a drive-by shooting. Should the parents be held accountable for that? And like I said, I think if the kid said, "Mom, I'm taking my gun to school and I'm going to shoot some people up," and she said, "Okay, have a nice day," I think that's one thing. Or if you're, "Mom, me and a group of my gang friends are going to go out and do some drive-bys," and they said, "Well, okay, but you be safe, honey." I can understand where there may be some responsibility there. But anyways, they're holding the parents responsible. That's the main thing. They're holding the parents responsible. So now we skip over to last week, Josh Hawley in that Senate hearing with the IT gurus and Mark Zuckerberg, the dude from Facebook. I think it's Zuckerberg. I mean, Zuckerberg to me is an evil dude as well. I don't find a lot of redeeming characters in Zuckerberg, but That's not Mark Zuckerberg, I don't think. I don't know. You know I'm talking about, the Facebook dude. Because I think there's a Zuckerberg in the TV production or something. He was the head of MSNBC or NBC. I don't know, my mind is stuck on Zuckerberg, but Facebook dude. So they get Facebook dude in front of this hearing, and this time he is sworn in. The last time I remember Facebook dude being in front of a Senate committee, he would not swear in. He was there sort of as a volunteer. That's the one where you could probably see, I think it might have been Chuck Grassley had asked him if he wouldn't mind giving the information on the hotel he stayed at and all that kind of stuff, personal information. So anyways, this hearing was, they were talking about sort of the evil influences of Facebook. There were parents there that were traumatized because their 37% of kids had seen nudity on Facebook. They talk about maybe the TikTok stuff where you're not thin enough, you're not pretty enough kind of stuff. And it was causing these people harm. And they had a group of these parents standing in the back of this hearing with their pictures up, holding up pictures of their children that, I don't know, has suffered ill effects. Maybe some had even committed suicide. Okay? So before you say, great, the dude deserves it, how many of you thought during the Kavanaugh hearing that it was fine and great when those women stood up in the back of the room and were holding up signs and were disrupting the hearing? Here's the thing, 70 people, protesters arrested. How many people thought that was cool? You know, it's sort of like a different circus with the same clowns. So I didn't appreciate that. But then it went further. Josh Hawley went further. That because Facebook dude has a lot of money, why don't you take some of your personal money and start a fund for these people? Start a fund for mental health for these kids. And then, of all things, came the walk of shame. Yes, I think if it was me personally, I would rather be stripped naked and have shit thrown on me than to do what Mark Zuck, Facebook dude, had to do, was turn around and tell all these parents he's sorry. He's sorry. Josh Hawley made him apologize to these people. So now I look back at the Oxford shooting and I go, the parents are being held responsible for the actions of their child. But the parents here are not being held in the Facebook case. The parents are not being held for the actions or the, shall we say, the mental issues. It's Facebook that's being held accountable, not the parents. The parents buy the computer. The parents have it in their house. The parents don't have any type of parental blockers or filters on their computer. There's no responsibility on the parents at all. It's Facebook's problem. It's Facebook's problem. Now, I find that a little bit hyperbolic, full stop. So we have a vis-a-vis the parents versus Facebook, and vis-a-vis the state of Michigan versus neglectful parents. I'm throwing them all in there. I know I'm forgetting a couple. And so I'm not sure that the Josh Hawleys of the world are being any more sincere than some of these social justice warriors that when you, for instance, say you're going to vote for Donald Trump, you're a racist, you're sexist, you're bigoted, you hate the LGBTQ elemental P community. There's no redeeming factor about you. In fact, the only redeeming factor, and I just thought about this as I'm talking, the only redeeming factor in you is if you apologize. Just like during the Black Lives Matter protests or whatever, when the white people were bending down and kissing the feet of black people and some of those things, making them do that. You know, bending the knee is just not... bending the knee is not a worthy action. It is showing weakness and that you're at fault. So they will make you do the walk of shame if they deem you evil. So the one conflicting part about here is I don't blame Josh Hawley for going after Facebook dude. I don't blame him for doing it because of some of the evils that he did with 2020 in their promoting of promoting the elections of 2020. The candidates or specific candidates. But I would also think that I would go back to, you were at this other hearing and you said you'd get us this and you'd get us this and you'd get us this information. Some of it you haven't gotten, and why is that? And I think I would have gone after him like that. I get it. I mean, impeaching Mayorkas, I understand it, but it's just kind of a formality or an informal type thing, just like the two impeachments of Donald Trump. They're just show. They're just show. So I think I understand what he wants to do, but I think there has to be a more less than personal attack on this. I don't mind them attacking Facebook and showing Facebook for what it is or what they believe it to be, but making Facebook do the walk of shame is something that social justice warriors want. That's what they want on TV. So I think that as long as they keep it sort of on a non-political attack, or maybe, I don't know, I just wouldn't make it personal, I guess. Just like in that case with these Crumbleys, they've made that person out to be a very evil, heinous, neglectful parent. Have attempted to, jury's still out. But that's not what you want to do. I don't think that's what MAGA really wants. I don't think that's what they want. So I think there's a little bit of a, I understand where they're coming from. I understand what they're trying to accomplish. But I'm not sure it's the right thing to accomplish. If you kind of understand. I'm not sure. This is one of those kind of left field. I've been trying to sort of apply this Crumbly case with the parents to other things, and how, to bring other people up on similar type of things. It's not about the actions or the inactions. It's really about how neglectful and evil you are as a person, and that's why we're doing this. And I'm not sure that's the way we should really be doing things. That is not a legal precedent to be setting. Because then we have to decide who's going to decide who the evil person is. Is it who's ever in political office? Is it a social justice warrior, sleestack-faced Dana Nessel that's deciding all this? They're making the call on this? Because they sure aren't bringing everyone to trial on this case. And like I said, there's more people that they could. There's more things about the case, and I don't want to get into the case. But Sleestack has decided it's evil is in this family, and that's it. No other place in this whole scenario does evil exist. And apparently the only place evil exists, for the most part on the internet, is with Facebook dude. And they want him to pony up his own money and start a fund. Well, if you really feel that hurt, sue Facebook. I can't think of it was that Bengals cheerleader who was also a teacher that was fooling around with a student. Lucky bastard. But anyways, it wasn't TMZ. It was that I don't know if the site exists anymore. God, what is the name of that site? I'll never get the site. The dude's name, I think, was Nick. He was married to might still be, I think it was like Lorenzo Lamas's daughter. Some kind of like gossip type page. But she tried to sue him. So, I mean, I guess if you feel like you've been egreged, you can sue Facebook. But then, I guess from these other cases, maybe it's stretching a little bit, but you got to bring the parents in on this. You let your kids surf the internet. Do you have any parental guides on your system? Are you monitoring what your kids are watching? I mean, you're not home because you're busy working, but you have a babysitter there. Are you monitoring it all? They're going to turn the parents into these irresponsible, neglectful individuals. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too far out there this morning. So that's about it on that subject. I guess if you stayed here long enough, the big thing about this whole, how I made it better and screwed it up at the same time, was after I got the van and was staying down in Muskegon and living down there, and kind of doing the thing and getting stuff researched and had time to do a lot more stuff on the murder book. Well, then I got moved back up home. So a boss moved selling the house. So I'm back at home and working 7 nights a week, which really limits my ability to do anything for the murder book at the moment. So kind of stinks in that respect, but I don't mind the weekly paychecks. So anyways, we're dealing with that right now. Maybe something will change here in a couple of months. Get down to 6 nights a week. 6 nights a week. But that's really about it. It just kind of, made my life better and then screwed it up. So if you stayed long enough for the whole vlog, you got to find out why. And how after working that many hours, I'm not in a great mood to do much vlogging. Mondays, maybe the Mondays are going to be the day for the vlogs, because I go in a little bit later on Monday nights. I have a little bit more time. So that may be the way around it. I don't know. Or if I just come up with something to talk about. But it's kind of a thing that's up in the air right now, and just working a lot. So this is Treasure Troller saying aloha and good day.